How about Mia? Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Mrs. Espinosa. I'm a kinder teacher here in Houston. It's the end of the school day on Monday and we had a really great day. So I'm just gonna share some highlights and share a little bit of how our week is gonna look like. It is Earth Week. So this morning for ancillary, my kids did have art, but the art teacher was not here. So they went outside with the coaches, and I love when my kids have gym outside and kind of get some of their wiggles out for that morning. I was gonna vlog this morning from my classroom, but I just had like a ton of copies to make and there was only one copier working. So a couple of things I made copies of, and I've already shared this in a previous vlog, but I did these secret words, which are for my teaching pal. They have to write the beginning sound for each letter and then read the word and then find the picture that matches. And this one is a read and match from Tweet Resources, so they have to read the word and match the picture. So it's just a lot of extra great practice for my kids to keep working on that CVC fluency. But yeah, I got a chance to make copies and then I came back to the classroom and I just had like a ton of prepping to do. I definitely procrastinated this weekend and like I didn't start working on my lesson plans till like 3 in the afternoon yesterday, and then I was trying to find free resources for like my low group, my lowest babies that are still working on letter recognition. They definitely needed like some new work, so I printed that out for them and then we went ahead and worked during small groups. So each one of the students has like a bingo set and it's like 2 different cards that look like this. I wrote down like the letters that they're still having trouble with. They have 2 of these cards. The little template I used is for sight words. So this is actually from Play-Doh to Play-Doh. I bought like this editable, I think it's called like 32 editable sight word games, but I also just use them for letter recognition. It just has that sight word bingo title. But yeah, I literally just go ahead and print and laminate the sheets and then I just write in the letters that they still haven't mastered. And then I have a ton of these magnetic letters. So we did like a letter recognition bingo, so they all have that. And then they have like an independent activity where they're basically just matching letters. But another example of something else I printed, it's uppercase and lowercase matching. This is from Stay at Home Educator and it was free. And then as a reference, if they need help matching uppercase and lowercase letters, all of the kids have alphabet charts in their yellow folder so they can refer to that if they're having trouble remembering. But yeah, and then I gave them a cookie sheet, and in my 30 must-have supplies video for pre-K and kinder teachers, I mentioned this tape. Like, I love this tape. Makes everything magnetic. And then these little butterfly matching uppercase and lowercase were also free. Again, I'll link all of these resources that I mentioned in the description. This does not say the name, so I can't remember off the top of my head. The only thing about this is that it didn't fit in the cookie sheet, so I'm probably gonna reprint it just so that it can fit in the cookie sheet. But I had already put the magnetic tape on it, but I mean, I'll just take it off and put it on the reprinted ones. And I think I might just give this to the student to take home and practice instead. But yeah, I had just a ton of prepping to do for these students in the morning. I had already printed and laminated the work. I still needed to cut it and sort the activities for each student in honor of Earth Week. Today we read the Lorax. Tomorrow we'll read the Lumberjack's Beard. On Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I picked nonfiction books from Mayan, which is an online library that my school district paid for and we have access to, so they have really great books. On Wednesday, we'll focus on landfills, on Thursday, recycling, and on Friday, composting. Yeah, we read the Lorax today, but it is a really long story, but I just love the message for the Lorax. There's like a 25-minute cartoon video on YouTube. I'll link that in the description. But I really love for us to watch that first, just because like it's a little movie of exactly what happens in the book. And I forgot to bring my actual book, but we just went ahead and found it online. So when it was read aloud time, did a picture walk and we were having a discussion on pollution. That was really our focus with the Lorax, how the water and the air was polluted And then there's like a 3-minute video from National Geographic focusing on pollution. And then once we watched that video, we specifically started having a conversation about plastic pollution and ways that we can limit our plastic consumption. So we talked about water bottles, and I was pointing out some students that had reusable water bottles, and I just encouraged them to bring their reusable water bottles every day. And limiting my plastic consumption is definitely something like very personal that I've been trying to do probably since like 2018. I saw a TED Talk from Lauren Singer, which I'll link that in the description if you're interested, but she was talking about living a zero waste lifestyle, which I had never heard of, and it just blew my mind. Like, this girl at the time of the video, she had like this little glass jar and she had 4 years worth of trash, and yeah, it just like blew my mind. And then like I really just started looking at little things that I could do in my lifestyle to just cut down on plastic. And my husband and I used to buy plastic water bottles, and that's really like all we drink is water. So for example, I would probably drink like at least 3 bottles per day. So that equals to 21 bottles a week. And if you multiply that by a year, it would be 1,092 water bottles that I would be consuming per year. And the sad thing about recycling, when we talk about recycling, is that a very small percentage of plastic actually gets recycled. So personally, I think the best thing to do is just to try to eliminate it as much as possible. We have 6 5-gallon jugs. Like, yeah, that's all we drink. It's so much less expensive to be filling those up. So you're saving money in the long run. And it's just healthier for you. Like, water is really what you should be drinking. I have a couple of reusable water bottles, but my little sister gave me this one, and like this is the one I've been putting stickers on. So this is like my favorite one that I take everywhere. So when I started eliminating watered bottle at home, I thought to myself, what am I going to do for water at school? Because I don't like tap water. But I remembered that my mother-in-law gave me like a black one of these jugs. And then recently my father-in-law gave me this green one. So like the black one's at home right now, and I'll refill that one and bring it back. Then I'll refill this one just so it's ready to go, and like I'll just swap them out. And like I refill them maybe every 3 to 4 days, just depending on how much water I drink throughout the day. But I mean, it's something easy that you can do if you are interested in cutting down. And then some other ways that I cut down in my classroom: I keep my own bowl that I brought from home. I also discovered a website called Earth Hero. So they sell like a lot of sustainable products. And last May, Houston just started offering composting. It is a service that I pay for, but I happily pay for it. So this is a loofah sponge that I ordered from Earth Hero. I've been using them at home too. So every 3 months, you toss it in the compost, so zero waste. Dish soap bar, which has lasted me a really long time. And then some other ways that I cut down on waste in my classroom: I have this mug that one of my students gave me. So if I need an extra cup, or if I want to reheat the coffee that I made from home, I have that available. And then like I have my own French press at home, so I always just make my own coffee at home. But if I need an extra cup, then that's why I keep this little one here. This is my coffee, this is my sugar. I also just really like to keep my salt because I'm picky. Like, I really like Himalayan salt. So that's my salt. And then this is basically like my reusable silverware. Like, I know there's plastic in there, but I haven't, like, I clean it off. And then I did bring a fork and a spoon from home that I wash. Like, no matter how much you try to avoid plastic, like, it's always in your face. I think actually that these come from whenever we have like free lunch at school. It comes like already inside your lunch. But yeah, those are like a few ways that I cut down on waste in my classroom. A couple of Fridays ago, my students and I ended up cleaning a lot of trash from our school. And then today, like, I found just a big old plastic trash bag on the floor. So yeah, I just went ahead and picked it up. So for recess, my kids were picking up all the trash, and we ended up filling it up. But I was really proud of them, and like they really like picking up trash. So that was really wonderful of them. But that's really all of our highlights for today. We had a really great, productive Monday. I have some errands to run, so let me get out of here and I'll check back in with you guys later in the week. Hello friends, it's the end of the day on Tuesday and I just have like 3 highlights that I want to share with you all very quickly. First one are some writing samples for my kids. It always makes me super excited when they actually spell out words by themselves and I can read them. So they all did pretty good today. Like it was just like a couple of words that they spelled out by themselves, but they did really great and I really love their pictures. So let me share some of that with y'all. And some of these are going to be easier to read than others, but I do remember what the student dictated to me. So this student said, for a picnic, I like cake and strawberries. And then this is their little picture. And they have like the strawberries, the cake there. They also have pizza, watermelon, orange. The student said, for a picnic, I like hamburgers and fries, which is very impressive that they could spell fries by themselves. So that's them and their little picnic with their hamburgers and fries. And then I was joking with them because I love hamburgers and fries. So I was like, can I go with you to your picnic? The student said, for a picnic, I like hamburgers and fries. They also like hamburgers and fries. The student said, for a picnic, I like hamburgers and cucumbers. The student said, for a picnic, I like cake, hot dogs, and oranges, and strawberries. So I was very impressed by this student. This student said, for a picnic, I like kebab and chicken sandwich. And then they copied the words at the bottom of the word bank, but that's okay. They still could write that by themselves. And this student said, for a picnic, I like chicken and cake. But yeah, I thought everybody tried their best job today to write their words by themselves. I did ask them to specifically write 2 things they would like to eat at a picnic. So yeah, everybody picked a couple things and they did well with their illustrations. Second highlight is that today we got to read The Lumberjack's Beard, and I recently got this book off of Amazon. I did read it on YouTube first just to see if I would like it, and I really did. All right, here's Mr. Lumberjack. His name is Big Jim Hickory. What's his name? Big Jim Hickory. Big Jack Hickory. All right. Every morning he did limbering up exercises. It's very important to limber up if you are a lumberjack. So if you are limbering up, that means you are stretching. Let's stretch like Mr. Lumberjack. He stretched up. Have a seat. Stretch to the side. Stretch to the other side. And then he got down on the floor and he stretched his back. All right. Yes, he is stretching all of his muscles, so he's ready to chop. All right. Let's see what Big Jim Hickory does next. Please have a seat. All right. Me too. Jump. Ooh. How did you know? What digraph do we see here? C-H. So do it with me. Get your axe. Say chop. Choppity chop. Chop. Choppity chop. I really enjoyed reading the story and my kids enjoyed it too. But before I read it to them, we did have a discussion about what a lumberjack does. And we watched a short video. There's like a 3-minute video on YouTube of a lumberjack chopping down a tree with an axe. He does it like in under 3 minutes. It's super cool. But yeah, we talked about safety equipment, how hard it is to cut down a tree. We also talked about what a beard was. But the story is essentially about a lumberjack who chops down trees, and these 3 friends lose their homes. So they angrily walk over to his little cabin and they tell him like, hey, you ruined my home. Where am I gonna live now? And he suggests for them to live inside his beard, but then there's issues with that. But at the end of the story, the lumberjack ends up having a brilliant idea, which is to plant trees instead of cutting them down. So after we finished reading it, we did talk about all the different uses that we have with trees and things that we make out of wood. But we also discussed the importance of trees, how we cannot see it, but they really help us breathe. They clean our air. They're very important, and that we should try and plant as many trees and plants as much as possible. So my third highlight is that, speaking of plants, I had mentioned that I had like white fuzzy stuff growing on our marigolds. And today I was poking it with a pencil and the soil was still pretty moist. So Miss Mo had another great idea, which was to cut off a little bit more off the top of the little cartons so that more sunlight could go inside. So I did get a chance to do that today. And then as I mentioned, like they all have little puncture wounds at the bottom so the water can run out. So, I mean, they are growing. I have a couple of them that only like have literally grown 2 of them. So we'll see. I still haven't watered them because, yeah, it's still like they're still heavy from water. So I haven't watered them this week. We'll see how they are by the end of the week. But either way, it's day 15 and I really am curious to see if these will bloom in another 20 days. For you guys, I'm gonna run out of here because it's my gym day. I will catch y'all tomorrow. Hello friends, it is after school on Thursday now. Today was Earth Day, so we did a ton of fun activities today. So let me just start off from the morning. This morning for our prompt, we wrote about what we were going to do for Earth Day since it was still the morning portion. So the 2 big highlights for my kids was going to be that we were going to make bird feeders using cartons and that we were going to make our own paint to make our little earth hats. And we were also going to clean up the trash from the school, which we've done a couple times and my kids really enjoy cleaning up all the trash from school. So those were like our 3 big things that were going to happen today. They did really well illustrating what we were going to do for Earth Day and writing their sentences. And we ended up having our lunch outside. So we did like a little picnic. We sat outside on the tables and they enjoyed that. And then we found a couple of trees to hang our little bird feeders from. But in the morning, we did watch a video where it was giving us more ideas on bird feeders. And another really easy one is reusing toilet paper roll or napkin roll. And you put peanut butter on it and then you can roll it in the seeds. And I did not know that birds really enjoyed peanut butter. We hung up the bird feeders and then the kids started cleaning up the trash. So when we came back inside, we washed our hands, and some things that I already had ready from yesterday were these little newspaper strips. So instead of sentence strips for our hats this time, I laid out some newspaper that I had from home. I flattened it out and then I rolled it into these like strips, just stapled it. And then I did plan for us to like draw our little earth onto the newspaper as well, and like they were ready, but when I tried it out in the morning, the paint is just really light and you couldn't really see it with the newspaper, so we ended up just doing it on copy paper, which was fine. But I did find like a circular lid in class, and that's what I used to trace all of their little earths. And then they went ahead and did the rest. They drew the land however they wanted, and making the paint was easy peasy. You just need 3 simple ingredients. It is 1 part flour, 2 parts water, or a little bit more if need be. Like you'll be able to tell the consistency, like it needs to be like a little runny. And then the food coloring, so it was really easy. And I already had cups in here, like those cups had been in here since I've been in this classroom. So I went ahead and just mixed the paints inside of those little cups, and then like I rinsed them out and we'll reuse them. So I think I'm just going to keep that flour here in class, and I already had food coloring as well in the classroom. So yeah, like it was really easy to make and the kids really enjoyed it. Anytime that we're painting, I just give them like a napkin and did like a little spoonful of each color paint. So towards the end of the day, they dried up and they cut them out, and yeah, we made the little headbands. But yeah, this was my first time making this type of headband. So I loved it, and it's definitely like a must from now on. Every Earth Day we'll make one of these. That is kind of it. Like those were our really big highlights for today. I did not vlog yesterday because honestly, like it was the first day of my period and like the fatigue was so real. I was insanely tired all day. Like I was counting down every minute till it was time to go. I left like the minute dismissal was over. I had to go home and nap yesterday, which I don't typically do, but oh my goodness, I needed a nap yesterday. But yeah, I was much better today, but like the first day of my period like just kicks my butt all the time. So it sucks when it's like on a weekday. Yeah, that's really all I want to share, except one more little thing. Like I was looking at the plants today and I was messing with them yesterday. Like I was moving the soil around trying to see if it was actually dry or just like kind of just really stuck together. But I think that's why some of the plants wilted. But let me show you. I did water them like earlier today. But let me show you like this. There's a couple that look like really wilted. Oh, I hope I didn't kill them. So this little friend's like, I messed up all of hers. And all of these. I don't know, maybe tomorrow they'll be better. I really hope so. But like I said, I went ahead and watered all of them today. And it's day 17. All right, but I think now that is all I want to share. I'm gonna go ahead and pack up and head to the gym because it's a gym day. I will catch y'all tomorrow. Good morning, friends. It's Friday. My kids are at the gym right now. They're outside with the coaches, so I get to vlog from my classroom this morning. So I'm just gonna do like a little quick check-in on what our day's gonna look like today. A few highlights. I am going to be out of the classroom for about an hour today. I've mentioned that we have the Head Start program in our school in pre-K. So Head Start is really good about having monthly parent meetings, and they host different topics. So the topic for this month is kinder transition, and they like to get a kinder teacher to present to parents in Spanish and English and just give tips on what to work on over the summer, how to be ready for kinder, what to expect in kinder. So I'll be doing like just a short little presentation for parents, giving them those tips. So yeah, I'll be out of the classroom for that for about an hour today. So that's gonna throw off our schedule a little bit, but whenever they come back from ancillary, we're gonna read a book about composting, watch a couple of videos. So whenever I come back from giving that little presentation, I have a couple of glass jars, so we're gonna go outside and we'll fill them up with some soil. I'm gonna have them dig for worms, which I'm sure they're really gonna enjoy. And I saved some little mandarin peel. That's what we'll watch compost. And then in the other glass jar, I think I'll probably either throw in a plastic wrapper or a plastic spoon, just so the kids get an idea of like what composting looks like. And I don't know how long it's gonna take for all of that to decompose, but it'll be cool to like observe every day until the end of the school year. We'll see if it like decomposes, if the mandarin peel decomposes by the last day of school. So that'll be, I think they'll really enjoy that. And then our Friday treat today is gonna be dirt pudding. So it'll be like a layer of chocolate pudding. We'll crush some Oreos and pretend that it's soil. And then I got some whipped cream because I love whipped cream. I'm gonna do the green food coloring. We'll pretend it's grass and some gummy worms. But they did pretty good this week. I think everybody is on track to get a treat today, but I told them it looks like everyone's gonna get a treat, but let's keep making good choices, working hard today. I'm excited for today. A little tired, but yeah, let me finish up my presentation so that's ready to go, and then probably meet with Miss Mo to see what we're teaching next week. So I'll check back in with y'all after school. All right, friends, it's after school. I am in my car. This is gonna end with a car vlog because I'm just so tired and I was ready to run out. My classroom was still being clean and I was ready to run out. So it'll end with a car vlog. So it was a pretty fun day, very exhausting. We went outside for recess and it was sprinkling. It was a very cloudy, like rainy day, but didn't really rain. It was just like it would just like sprinkle. So I thought that the soil would be moist enough for us to dig, but it was not. So digging for worms was a total fail. We were outside digging for worms, trying to find some probably for like an hour, but the kids really enjoyed it. We ended up having to go back to the classroom, I think 2 or 3 times to like get more water because that soil was just not moist enough for us to dig. And my kids took turns digging with the little tools, with the spade, the shovel, the little rake. So that was really cute to see. But yeah, and some of them were using sticks and their hands. Really enjoyable, memorable day. And yeah, so we kind of didn't do literacy centers. It was like math time by the time we went back, but we kind of just took it easy. Our chocolate pudding was delicious. And yeah, I think the only other thing I forgot to mention, because I didn't vlog on Wednesday, was that I keep 3 different boxes in my classroom. one with paper, glass, and plastic. So I keep those there just so that when it's time to talk about recycling, we can sort real life items. So we went ahead and did that on Wednesday, and I was explaining to the kids that like whenever plastic is recycled, that there's several kinds of plastic. So whatever plastic they had, I encouraged them to look at the little triangle, and that there was a number inside the plastic, and that told you what kind of plastic that was. There's 6 types of plastic. Some are harder to recycle than others. But as I mentioned, I think the bigger goal is just to try and refuse and reduce as much plastic consumption as we can, because unfortunately only about 30% of the plastic gets recycled. Next week we are talking about animal features, and we're gonna focus on ocean animals, so I look forward to that, so we can kind of keep talking about ocean pollution and what kinds of animals it affects. Look forward to planning for that over the weekend. And that's kind of it for this week. I tried really hard to get footage like for every day, so I really hope that you enjoyed this vlog.